Oh, Pearson gets into the 95 of Bolts. Here comes the caution.
Flag is dropped here at Daytona and away we go for the first time. Nicholas Porcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Reed Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Dom's, possibly a little bit of contact.
Now as we've got 3-wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
Just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
New stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 the lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.
Good evening, race fans, friends, family, and biker pilot, as we are back for the Just Two Idiots Cup Series. It's the Sprint Series here at Circuit Zandvoort, and we've got a lot of drivers making their way out. Looks like 17 drivers taking the stage, and I'm going to try and do this. I'm only going to do it once for the Nicolators Nederland Frikandel Fest Invitational. Shout out to our friend Nicolator coming on board for the sponsor for this event. Let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on, as drivers will frequently have the broadcast pulled up on a separate monitor or device, and if they don't, they just about always go back and watch this thing over. Let's run through the starting order today. On pole, it's Squilliam. We've got Bozak starting second, Captain CK starting third, Cat Daddy is starting fourth, Remote Crawdad starting fifth, Prince Adam starting sixth, Dutch starting seventh, Nodovan starting eighth, Spook Dub starting ninth, Sneezy Jr. starting 10th, Long Island Nerd starting 11th, Lad Pack starting 12th, Cycle It On back to Nicolator starting 13th, Eat My Dust starting 14th, Lamp starting 15th, Garlic Dog starting 16th, and Yo Mega will round out the 17-car grid here today. We'll wait for a few more drivers to set the stage here. And then we'll get things going. Starting the sprint race off here tonight. I believe it's going to be a 15-minute sprint, a brief intermission, then followed by our feature event here today. Want to give a shout out to our title sponsor as well, Loop Communications, coming on board this season. Great having them as part of the show. Looks like we're waiting on Prince Adam, and there we go. He's got onto the grid. As the engines rev up, the lights go off, and we are underway here tonight to kick off the sprint. It's a 20-minute opening race. 20 minutes, so not the 15 that I originally thought. As Squilliam gets a good launch, I hear somebody sliding around the background. I think that was Sneezy. He's losing one spot here early on. Captain CK quickly up into the second place position. Now, Squilliam was the odds-on favorite to do well here tonight, but he's got Captain CK, Bozak, Remote Crawdad right in tow, but something has happened. CK, right as we were focused in on that number 50 machine, off track, and it looks like Lamp is going to follow suit there, cooking in a little bit deep on the brakes, so that's going to leave the battle for second open. Remote Crawdad making quick work of Bozak, putting the 606 up into second. A little ways back by about a half second, I saw Dutch, and I just saw somebody going off track. It looks like they might have saved it there. Remote Crawdad. Bozak side by side here for a second. Bozak deep on the brakes in the chicane. Does he make it stick? It looks like he will here. But Remote Crawdad firing right back. Now this is going to give Squilliam a healthy breakaway up front. As the number 6 has already gained a 6-second margin. And are we hinting at 3 wide? I think we are here. That's going to be the battle for third and fourth. Bozak, Dutch, Prince Adam, Cat Daddy all in the fray here. Remote Crawdad is going to try and get a little bit of a breakaway there in the second place spot, leaving Bozak and Adam in the hot seat. Here comes Bozak firing right back up there against Crawdad. It's going to be tight. Any little mistake would put Prince Adam up into a podium position. Now, there are no scheduled pit stops here for the opening sprint. Drivers will have enough fuel to make it till the end. It's going to be our feature event with that mandatory fuel stop. Ooh, nose to wing, and around goes Crawdad. Prince Adam's going to get collected in that one. I think both drivers are going to have to take a tow after that one. So that's going to put Bozak up in a second. Dutch now holding on to third with Nodovan in the fourth place position. Prince Adam takes a tow back to pit road. Another crash reported. It's going to be it's going to be Eat My Dust. And the number 24. Looks like everybody, for the most part, able to keep on track. Remote Crawdad also taking a tow back to pit road. Too much damage to limp it around here. Squilliam sets the fastest lap of the race as we watch Nodovan and Dutch go side by side for that final podium spot. Dutch has a good run there, the red and black number 19, but we've got another incident reported. It's going to be Nicolator off track and involved in some sort of issue. Looks like it's going to be some turn one shenanigans here. Nicolator just overcooks it. Meets our good friend outside wall. And then carries on. So now Nodovan, the 128, up in the final spot. That looked like Dutch almost got into the back of him there. That's going to put Cat Daddy up into fourth. Spooked Up's trying to get around the number 19 of Dutch. And now what is the battle for fifth? As Squilliam out front enjoys the clean track. Nodovan pushes way off the clean track there. Drivers on the ragged edge in these Super Formula Light machines. Thankfully, not really seeing any rain on the forecast here for tonight. Now, some of the odds-on favorite tonight coming into the race were Squilliam, who's obviously doing very well up front. Captain CK was another odds-on favorite, judging from the practice times. But Bozak's finding some pace here in second. Let's pan back to Nodovan and Cat Daddy going side by side. Bozak, bit of a dark horse, coming out just at the fastest lap of the race on 125.11. But even Bozak has pulled a 5-second gap over the rest of the field, so Squilliam and Bozak, first and second, checking out and enjoying the clean track, not even in the camera frame here. As right now, the meat grinder right around 4th through about 9th place. You've got a freight train of drivers there. Bozak just went off track briefly in the 2nd place spot. No, more than briefly. He's still off track, cutting the grass here at Zandvoort. So that's going to put Nodovan up into 2nd. Cat Daddy now into 3rd. Spook Dubs and Dutch will round out the top 5. And poor Bozak is going to fall way down the standings here, all the way back to 14th. It's only, and he's just now getting back out on track. So in a 20-minute sprint race, not a lot of time to overcome those mistakes. Squilliam again sets the fastest lap up front. The tires have really come in, and he's really getting in a groove there. The number 6 machine, Cat Daddy and Spook Dub side by side here for 3rd. Spook's going to take over that 3rd place spot. Cat Daddy falls back to 4th as Long Island Nerd moves up into 5th, and he's in a frantic battle with Dutch and Sneezy Jr. Looks like Nicolator is going to get back out onto the circuit, get some more laps in. But unfortunately, unless somebody ahead of Nicolator bends a perfectly good race car, he's not going to be able to grab too many positions here. But every lap time you can get in preparation for the feature will really serve you well in the longer race to follow here tonight. Sneezy squeezed between Dutch and Ladpack. Sneezy holding on to the 7th place position. He's up 3 spots so far. Somebody had a big mistake up ahead, though. Was that Long Island nerd? I think it was in the O2. We saw the big puff of smoke. As there's contact with Sneezy and Dutch. Looks like both drivers able to keep it pointed in a forward direction. But now Dutch is going to fall down the leaderboard just a little bit as the top 10 starting to tighten up a little. There's Captain CK. We know he's got pace, qualified 3rd. Working his way back to the field. Dutch is going to come down pit road. Might have had some sort of damage there. So a couple of good battles going on. Sneezy and Ladpack in the battle for 6th. Captain CK, Yo Mega, and Eat My Dust all battling for 8th. The Super Formula Lights really lend themselves to good, tight racing. As Squilliam, your race leader, he's ahead by a country mile, almost 14 seconds. Around goes Yo Mega. Able to get it off the racing line, thankfully. There goes Lamp, able to get through nice and clean. Well, let's pan back up here. The battle for 2nd. You've got Nodovan up 6 spots. Spook Dubs right in tow, also up 6 positions. Not too far back is Cat Daddy holding on to 4th. So Cat knows with how tight the racing is each and every week that there is definitely still a chance of a podium right ahead of him. Spook has a big run here against Nodovan, pulls up alongside the 128. Spook in the 58 is going to try and get himself clear into turn 1. Nodovan opts to follow Spook Dubs through here, turn 1. I think that's pretty wise, living to keep the car clean. Drivers keep charging forward. Now it's interesting to see some of the drivers very excited. Fellow drivers excited to see Lamp back out on track. Good to see Nicolator out on the circuit as well. So some old-time fan favorites making their way out here tonight. Spooked Up still under fire from Nodovan. The battle for 2nd. Squilliam has pulled about a 15-second gap. Oh, I just heard somebody in the background have issues. That was Bozak in the 906 with an off-track excursion. And look at this cluster. You've got Long Islanders, Sneezy, Captain CK, Ladpack, all in the fray. I think I see Eat My Dust at the tail end of it as well. On board with Eat My Dust. I think we're about to see some pretty impressive draft battles as we come out in the start-finish line stretch. Who's going to pull out of the draft here? It's going to be a big send from Captain CK up the inside line of Sneezy. CK able to get the spot, but Sneezy trying to carry that momentum. Now we've had something happening. What happened to Cat Daddy? We saw Dutch involved in an incident. Spook Dubs was also involved in an incident, but what happened to Cat Daddy here? Is somebody Bennett ahead of him? Is it going to be a solo incident? Somebody Bennett ahead of him, and Cat Daddy gets absolutely lost. Who was that ahead? Was that Dutch, I wonder? It was. Dutch lost the back end. The rest of the field stacked up. And that will ruin the night of Cat Daddy, it looks like. Squilliam continued to charge up front. Nodovan 2nd. Captain CK up into 3rd. What a comeback story for CK. As we're watching Long Island Nerd with Eat My Dust, Spook Dubs, and now Garlic Dog joining us right outside the top 5. Garlic Dog, our hard charger so far, up 10 positions. Spooked Oaks is coming down pit road. Long Island Nerd and Eat My Dust going side by side. Eat My Dust holding on to fourth. We had another crash reported. Lamp and it looks like Sneezy Jr. were involved in an incident. I wonder if that's together or just maybe a little bit of coincidence. We're focusing on Lamp here. No question answered. Sneezy was trying to get the car slowed down, but had just a little bit of a boop there with Lamp. Just over 6 minutes left to go in this sprint, but oh, what happened to CK? He's going to fall back out of the podium position, losing 2 spots. One to Eat My Dust, one to Long Island Nerd. CK is going to hammer down here. He went from the front to the back, and now he's trying to go up towards the front again. He was able to fight back up to that third place spot that he qualified in. And then a little bit of a solo incident once again put CK on the back foot. He's got Long Island Nerd he's using for a draft here. Eat My Dust is about a second ahead of these two battling side by side through turn 1. There goes Captain CK back up to fourth. Long Island Nerd does not want to let him get away uncontested here. CK reeling in Eat My Dust ever so slightly. The number 24 is about 3/4 of a second up over the 50 of Captain CK, but it looks like Long Island Nerd keeping the pressure up wherever he can. Now, hard charge out on track is going to be Eat My Dust sitting in third. He's up 11 spots, but tip of the hat as well to Garlic Dog, the 199, up 10 positions so far in this sprint. If things stay clean here, I think we might see a 3-car battle for third. Captain CK trying to pick up that draft off the back of Eat My Dust, while Long Island Nerd's doing the exact same move. Lamp is going to roll back out of pit road to get some more laps in this sprint. Get ready for the feature. Lamp holding off to the right side of the track, allowing these drivers battling for the final podium position through nice and clean. CK, I think, is within the draft here of Eat My Dust, so here's that battle for third with less than 5 minutes left to go. Squilliam, 22 seconds up over the rest of the field. We got to add some ballast to that number 6 machine because he is gone. If this keeps up, Squilliam's going to finish about a half lap ahead the rest of the field. There we go, Captain CK putting the pressure on Eat My Dust. This is the battle for that final podium spot, the battle for third. But if Eat My Dust and Captain CK spend too much time battling, I think Long Island Nerd is very likely to swoop in and see if he can get a 2-for-1 on this. Let's see, is the draft going to be strong enough? Eat My Dust trying to break away here. See if he can shake off Captain CK, but it's not going to be enough. CK takes a big dive into turn 1. Eat My Dust leaves plenty of room, but that's going to set the number 24 machine up for the left-hander. Ooh, a little bit of wheel-to-wheel action as Captain CK muscles his way up into third. And now this is definitely not what Eat My Dust wanted. Now he's also under fire from Long Island Nerd. Eat My Dust wants to keep that forward momentum. Oh, and it's not going to happen as he spins it around. Long Island Nerd will be gifted 4th, and Garlic Dog is going to move up into the top 5. It looks like Lad Pack, I think, is missing the front wing there on that number 91 machine, so he's under fire from Yo Mega. But the fact that Lad Pack is holding on to the 7th place position without any front arrow, pretty darn impressive. But you can see Yo Mega starting to close up here behind. Man, that's impressive that Lad Pack carrying such good pace without the arrow assist. Garlic Dog still going to hold on to 5th after the off-track excursion, it looks like. Now let's check in on your race leader, Squilliam. He has made it so there's only 10 drivers on the lead lap at this stage of the race. He's got about a minute and a half to go, so right now he's just going to focus on hitting his marks. You can look at the track map on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Squilliam, wide open raceway here. He just has to keep focusing on hitting his marks, and he will not run into any lap traffic before it's all said and done. Now, the 2 closest drivers we have out on track, Spooked Up starting to catch up to Lad Pack. Again, Lad missing the front wing. He lost the spot to Yo Mega, but he's just trying to minimize the points bleed coming into tonight. Speaking of points, Squilliam, by far and away our points leader coming into tonight's round. He's 43 points ahead of Nodovan, who is second in the championship, as well as second out on track. Eat My Dust came into tonight 3rd in points, but going the wrong way a little bit as he is now sitting 6th after a little bit of a misfortune in today's opening sprint. So I think Squilliam is going to be getting the checkered flag this time by. I think we're going to run out of time here for another lap. Well, it's going to be close. Nope, there we go. The checkered flag is out. Squilliam with a very dominant win here tonight. Over 25 seconds up over the rest of the field. Let's pan back to 2nd place, Nodovan. Nodovan's going to pick up 2nd. And I think, yep, there we go. Captain CK will get 3rd. So we're going to try and get these drivers up here to victory lane for the celebratory shenanigans. So we're waiting on a few more. Actually, we're just waiting on Nodovan at this point to make his way up to the waiting room. As there we go. That will make the results officially official. We try and get the scoreboard pulled up here. Interesting that it's not working. Oh, I know why. So looks like we're going to get this party started Up first is Captain CK. Join us from the third place spot. Oh, Captain, my Captain. It was a bit of a roller coaster up here tonight, but still able to snag a third after it was all said and done.
Yep. Apparently, I like to make it hard on myself, and I like to handicap myself in the first lap, which is a classic for me, but in the end, ended up really fun.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not a lack of racing for you after the opening misfortune, but is that as bad as it went? Is it a little bit of confidence inspiring for the future to know you have such great pace?
Yeah, it is. It is, but I really need to clean up my first laps, which is a bit of a meme on the league right now, but it's well, actually has been for 4 years, but if I'm able to go through the first couple laps cleanly, I'm confident because it's a better racing track than I expected it to be.
Yeah, the super formulas in this track combo seems like it looks like a lot of fun to drive for you guys. Captain, what's the sections of track we need to watch out for in the future? Where are we going to see the most excitement?
That would be turn 3, like that banked left-hander before the SS going up the hill. There really is a nice passing there on the outside. I did a couple in the first race, and just turn 1, because under braking you're able to draft all the way down the straight. If you get a nice launch of the exit before the banking, you're able to draft all the way and just be brave on the brakes. That car is amazing on the brakes.
Well, I know I'm looking forward to it as well as the fans at home. Captain CK, before I let you go, who do you want to give a shout to that helped you bring home the third place result here in the opening sprint?
Just everyone in the league being awesome. Actually, it's always a great time over here, and I'm not racing enough this season, but every time I do, I'm having fun.
Well, always good having you up here, bud. Congratulations, and hopefully we'll have you back following the feature.
See you, James.
See you, sir.
Bye.
That was Captain CK bringing it home. And third up next, we've got Nodovan. Nodovan, 2 Canadians on the podium here tonight. Must be something in the water.
I'm thinking it's all this heat. We're hot right now.
Yeah, down here in the old dirty south of the U.S., it's absolutely miserable, so hopefully it's better for you guys. But how are the track conditions out there tonight? It looked like for the most part, everybody's able to keep the power down and the forward momentum going for you guys.
I'll be completely honest. I was taking it so easy. I didn't have a lot of practice, so I was like, don't spin, don't spin, don't spin. And then I just kind of watched everyone in front of me spin, and then I went from 8th to 2nd, so I was like, take that.
Now, is that confidence inspiring for the future, or does that kind of have you on edge that you might force yourself to push too early on, starting so well up front?
I have a sneaky suspicion it's gonna be very similar. I think all the guys ahead of us will probably end up making a mistake at some point. The unfortunate part is this next race is a little bit longer, so they have a lot longer to catch up to me.
Well, Nodovan, hopefully you can fend them off. That was a bunch of fun to watch in this sprint. Before I let you go, get ready for the feature, my friend. Who do you want to give a shout to that helped bring you home the second place result?
I'd like to thank Jaden. He had some, or Bozak, I guess. He had some pedal issues, and that's why he ended up crashing out. But he we just kind of chatting all race, and it kind of keeps your mind on task.
Well, cool. Nodovan, always a pleasure having you back up here, bud, and best of luck in the feature.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Nodovan bringing it home. And second up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Squilliam back in the top spot. Squilliam, we were talking about during the show, we might need to add some lead ballast or something to that number 6 machine because you were gone.
Yeah, I think I got a little help, though, from a lot of carnage behind me, I have to say. I felt like I had good pace, but it's always nice having people wreck behind you and widening that gap.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off. Now, looking at the practice times, everybody was pretty equally matched as far as pace, and even tonight, there was a few guys running up front with really quick lap times we weren't expecting. If we can keep it clean during the feature, and we all know that's a big if, do you think there's going to be some maybe underdogs join you in battling for the lead?
Yeah, I honestly hope so. I think there's a lot of people that could definitely be up there towards the front, and it's going to be tough for me to even get through them and stuff like that to get up there because just the dirty air is a little rough, and it's going to be a much hotter track. So, but I feel like I'm pretty good on the hot tracks and stuff like that compared to most people. So I'd like to think that will be an edge for me. But yeah, definitely the draft's really powerful because the cars are on such high downforce and stuff too. So I think it'll be easy for people to keep up with other people that are a little bit quicker.
Now, Squilliam, what's the words of wisdom? What do other drivers need to do and yourself to survive the opening lap here for today's feature?
I think it's just keeping in mind that you've got cold tires on a really hot track. I think the track temp just now jumped like 15 degrees, 20 degrees from the last race to this race. So I think that's what the biggest killer in most of these feature events for people. So just reminding yourself that you need to take 3 or 4 laps to get the tires warm before you really start trying to push and make big moves on people.
Well, looking forward to another great race. You guys always put on a good show. Squilliam, before I let you go, anybody want to give a shout to that helped you bring home the top result in the sprint and extend that points lead here?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to my brother, Remote Crawdad. For those that don't know, he's my brother. But he doesn't race much, so it's cool to see him in here. It's unfortunate to see that he wrecked out in the first race and then left, but it was good to have him while he could, so hopefully he comes out to more of them.
Awesome. Squilliam, always a pleasure, bud. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll have you back up here following the feature.
Sounds good, man.
That was Squilliam bringing it home in the top spot. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more action here at the Just Two Idiots Cup Series Sprint Series, sponsored by Loop Communications.
Oh, Pearson gets into the 95 of Folks. Here comes the caution.
Flag is dropped here at Daytona, and away we go for the first time. Nicholas Morcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Reed Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Dom's, possibly a little bit of contact.
Up now as we've got 3 wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Let's go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
Just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
New stuff. Cody Graham's the 1-on-1 up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 lead at the moment.
Dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out, and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.
All right, race fans, we are back. It is time for the feature event. It's an inverted top 8 grid, and it is going to be an exciting one. I'm excited to see what Spook Dubs is going to do starting from that top spot. He's on pole. A lot of pressure there for the number 58 machine. Waiting to see if Eat My Dust going to make the grid. Now, we got the report from Squilliam. Remote Crawdad had called it for a night in the 606, so he will not be joining us for this one as we get ready for the lights to turn on. And then we are underway for the Loop Communications J2ICS Sprint Series feature event. Spook Dubs on the hot seat into turn 1. Looks like he's going to get through nice and clean. Yo Mega, and that's going to be Eat My Dust side by side for second. Eat My Dust had great pace in the sprint, but didn't have the luck he was looking for. As I just saw Garlic Dog in the 199. We had Lamp go off track, but I'm not seeing any crash reports yet, so that's a good sign for the competitors. Scoy and Prince Adam, the two teammates briefly side by side here. Prince Adam holding on to 8th. He's very quickly up 4 spots here tonight, so a great opening half a lap or so for Prince Adam and the 777. Up front in the battle for 5th, you've got Long Island nerd Captain CK side by side. CK moving up in the 5th, Long Island falling back to 6th. Right behind them, that's Notabin, Prince Adam, Squilliam, Lad Pack, as Eat My Dust has taken over the top spot here from Spook Dubs and is putting the hammer down in the number 24. Now it's a 40-minute feature event here tonight. As I just saw somebody, a whole bunch of somebodies off track. I know Lamp was involved in an incident. He takes a tow, so it's going to be a separate moment there. So let's focus in. Notabin had a big off track. Was that the gaggle of drivers we saw? I think it was. As they are bumping and grinding here. Notabin has already fired his way back up to 7th, though. And look at Nicolator there, the number 5 coming out of retirement, joining us. He has gained 8 positions in this feature event. That's Nicolator and Prince Adam side by side. Nicolator holding on to 8th. Prince Adam still holding on to 9th, up 3 spots from where he started. Lad Pack number 91's there as I pan back up. We've got a battle for 3rd. Yo Mega and Captain CK. As you heard in the interview, Captain CK made it harder on himself during the sprint. So this could be his time to shine, especially while Squilliam is still sitting back in 5th, battling throughout the field. CK looks like he's going to get clear here for 3rd. A little bit of a lockup from Yo Mega. And that's going to allow Squilliam to fight his way up into 4th, but it's going to be close here as everybody's battling for a spot. So right now, you've got Squilliam and Yo Mega have rounded out the top 5, but right behind them, Garlic Dog, Notabin, Nicolator starting to close the gap here. Now sitting back in 7th, Notabin just set the fastest lap of the race. And as the fuel loads start to drop and the drivers get more and more comfortable, I think we're going to see some really quick lap times by the time it's all said and done. Oh, and who was that? Was that CK? Yes, it was. Captain CK off track and in trouble as he once again falls down the standings. Notabin and Bozak side by side. Notabin threw out the anchor there. Not sure if he had a slowdown penalty or what just happened. So that's going to put Yo Mega into 4th, Garlic Dog into 5th. Right behind this battle, I'm interested to see. No, Captain CK is not a part of the group here yet. as it looks like Yo Mega still holding on to fourth, but Squilliam's moved up into that final podium spot. All eyes on right now. This battle right around the top 10. Oh, a bit of a blink there from Cat Daddy. That's going to be a precarious spot for Prince Adam. The 777, tough to know where to put that car. Now, Nodovan in and out of pit road. As what's happening here, Yo Mega has obliterated the 101 machine. He's going to take a tow. Does he get help or is it a solo inside? I think it's going to be... Oh my goodness, Garlic Dog barely got through that one. So now Lad Pack in the hot seat with Cat Daddy, Prince Adam, Captain CK right behind. We did get the report that Yo Mega did get back to pit road, took a tow. As Nicolator and Bozak having a battle here for fifth. Bozak, the blue and yellow 906. Nicolator, the orange up on the high side. Fighting tooth and nail to hold on to a top 5. Nicolator's up 11 spots so far here tonight. Our hard chargers so far this evening. So let's see, can Nicolator keep the hammer down? Bozak tucked in the draft right behind him. Now panning back to 8th, I'm seeing a freight train of drivers once again. A nice little 3-pack here as it's Cat Daddy, Prince Adam, and Captain CK. Unfortunately, Bozak has taken a tow back down pit road. Are we going to hint it 3 wide? We are. You'll love to see it. Cat Daddy, Captain CK, and Prince Adam putting on a show. And while that's going on, Squilliam has just fought his way once again up to the lead. Eat My Dust and Squilliam going to go side by side here. Eat My Dust not letting Squilliam get away too easy here. He does not want that number 6 machine to get clean track and get away uncontested. But I think that's what's going to happen here. Squilliam putting the hammer down, and he's going to try and break away from the rest of the field. He had a dominant performance in the sprint. I am not surprised to see that be the case once more. I heard a little bit of bumping and grinding there, but I think that was just Prince Adam really giving a lot of love to the curbing here at Zandvoort. Captain CK once again fighting a self-inflicted uphill battle here. Now we're expecting about 17 to 18 laps out of a fuel run. So the pit window is going to open up around 10 minutes in, so right about in 5 seconds, and it's going to close at the 32-minute mark. So I would expect to see a large portion of the field coming down pit road right at that 20-minute mark of the race. Prince Adam and Lad pack side by side. Lad ran really well in the sprint without a front wing. Car's probably feeling a little bit different now that it actually handles properly. Captain CK, Cat Daddy gonna go side by side across the start-finish line. CK looks like he has the edge into turn one, running a little bit wider. Cat Daddy has the pinch off the corner, doesn't get the run he was looking for. So let's see, can Captain CK get some momentum back his way? He's gonna be hoping for some sort of misfortune out of Squilliam running up front. But right now, the hard charger on circuit, Nicolator in the number 5, is up 12 spots so far here this evening. Lad Pack, Captain CK, the two closest drivers we have out on circuit here at the moment. Oh, I take it back. What happened to Spook Dubs? Showed a bit of a blink there. I'm not quite sure what happened. A glitch in the Matrix perhaps is going to put Nicolator up into the third place position. The hard charger now up 13 spots. Squilliam gets down to the fastest lap, a 125.57, as his momentum increases up front. Nicolator, cool, calm, and collected. The number 5 has quickly built up a 1 second gap over Spook Dubs. And I see another battle shaping up. Captain CK is reeling in Lad Pack here in the battle for 7th. So CK, after his early misfortune, I think is going to be very mindful trying to keep that car out of danger. Now I'm surprised. It doesn't look like... Oh, CK's going to come down pit road. I was going to say, it didn't look like he was gaining ground as quickly as I would have expected. So I would imagine CK may have had some sort of damage, perhaps. Dutch also going to be involved in an incident. Squilliam continues the charge up front, has built up a almost 5 second gap over the rest of the field here. Not having any woes or issues. Dutch able to get himself collected a little bit, getting back with some forward momentum. Now the field very stretched out at this point. So I'm thinking once the pit cycles really get underway, we'll see drivers getting a little bit closer together. We've seen some great success and some great follies as far as pit road incidents go. But right now, this is interesting. Bozak back in 14th, just set the fastest lap of the race there, a 125.43. So he's getting some momentum built up despite the early misfortune. As Squilliam comes out onto the start-finish line stretch. Let's see what the lap time is for that number 6 machine. A 125.49, so that's his fastest lap of the race, but not the fastest lap of the race. As I see some drivers bunching up. That's going to be Lad Pack and Cat Daddy, nose to tail, crossing start finish line. Cat Daddy's going to take a lunge after the inside line, third turn 1. And will make the pass and do so very cleanly. So if you're just tuning in right now, it's Squilliam up front, 6.5 second advantage. Eaten by Dust in second. Nicolator has worked his way up into third as our hard charger. He's up 13 spots. As Cat Daddy getting moving here. Wanted to keep Lad Pack at bay. As it looks like, I think he's able to shake off the draft here of Lad Pack. Cat Daddy is. He's keeping that number 91 machine about 3/4 of a second behind him. Now we're going to pan back up to the race leader. We are expecting the pit window for most of the field to be right at the halfway mark. As Squilliam continues the dominant run up front, he's built about a 7.2 second gap over the rest of the field. The two closest drivers we have out on circuit right now are Cat Daddy and Lad Pack, 7th and 8th, and they're hovering right at a second apart from each other. So the field definitely starting to get strung out here a little bit. Now we had 17 drivers originally enter this race. We've whittled it down to 15 out on track, and Yo Mega might make it 14 after a big incident there. Let's see what happened to the 101. But it looks like he's going to be able to keep it rolling here. I'm not seeing a toe from the 101. Just loses it under the brakes, spins it around, but no contact with the wall. So he is going to be able to rejoin the race here and keep moving forward. Now let's see, we're going to be hitting the halfway mark of this race. I believe, on this lap. So next time by the start-finish line, Squilliam will be displayed the cross green and white flag signaling the halfway mark of this event. He's got an 8-second margin. Does he come down pit road, or does he stretch the fuel run out as far as he can? We think it's going to close around the 32-minute mark. I'd imagine if he's feeling good and feeling fast, he's going to stay out as long as he can. The cars only get faster as the fuel load decreases. So Williams going to stay out for another go. Waiting for the lap time to update. A 125.77. So Squilliams actually backed off the pace just a little bit here. He's built up about an 8.8 second margin. And I'm curious how long he is going to stretch the fuel run out here for. But no sign of slowing down for that number 6 machine. But something's going on here. I also spot, we pan back over to Eat My Dust. He has Nicolator starting to reel him in here. So we have got a battle for second place underway. Let's see, Nicolator starting to close the gap here. Looking for a great result there in the orange number 5. So I think Nicolator's going to be very, very careful. He's not going to push too hard. Doesn't want to risk throwing away such a great event or a great race so far for him. Long Island Nerd's going to come down pit road for a green flag stop. Nicolator still breathing down the neck of Eat My Dust, looking for any mistake he can find here. Oh, Eat My Dust handling the pressure well with Nicolator in hot pursuit. I can tell you as a former driver, I have a little bit of race experience. It's very tough knowing that somebody is right behind you, having to hit those marks perfectly lap after lap. I'm expecting Nicolator, if he doesn't come down pit road, which he does, Nicolator coming down pit road, so he thinks he's got better pace than Eat My Dust, wants to get out on track and then just hammer down afterwards. Prince Adam also down pit road in the 777. So that is going to leave currently the top 6 drivers out on track who have yet to pit here. Squilliam holds on to the race lead very comfortably out front. Eat My Dust and Spook Dubs round out the top 3. Now, we had another incident reported, and it was going to be Sneezy Jr., the number 29. Looks like it's going to be a solo incident. Let's see how bad it is here for Sneezy. A little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a spin, but all in all, not that bad. Williams going to stay out for another lap here. He's been very consistently in that mid-minute 25-second lap time. This time it was a 125.68. So being very, very consistent here. Sneezy has come down pit road. That's actually going to be his second stop of the night. As we still have 15 out of our 16 entries for the feature here running. Unfortunately, Lamp, the only driver having to retire early. Squilliam getting ready to lap his teammate Prince Adam, who just rolled out of pit road. So definitely expect Prince Adam to yield the position here once he gets a safe opportunity. There we go, Squilliam's down pit road. Your race leader entering his pit stall. In and out, 6 seconds flat. Eat My Dust also down pit road. So Squilliam, as he rolls out on track, now he has Spook Dubs behind him, but he knows that Spook is still going to have to pit. You've got Spook Dubs, Cat Daddy, Garlic Dog, Lad Pack, all have yet to box here. Squilliam continues to charge up front. I think I might see a battle. Yep, we do. Nodovan and Long Island Nerds starting to close up here in the battle for 8th. About 3/4 of a second separating the two. But an interesting night. You've got some drivers such as Nodovan, such as Captain CK, that are much lower down the leaderboard than expected. I'm curious to see once the pit cycle is complete where Nicolator, the number 5 machine, is going to be. We've got just over 11 minutes or just under 11 minutes left to go in this sprint. Nodovan has a big draft here against Long Island Nerd. Nowhere to put it as they head through the chicane. The rest of the field comes down pit road. Spook Dubs, Cat Daddy, Garlic Dog, Lad Pack, all down pit road for their one scheduled stop. That's going to put Nicolator back up into second. Eat My Dust into third. Man, what a night it would be for Nicolator to bring home a second. He's our hard charger. He's up 14 spots. Has had a great race so far this evening. The Omega's in pit road. Dutch in pit road. As you're watching the 3-car battle for what is now 5th, as the pit cycle has worked itself out. Long Islander holding on to a top 5. With Nodovan and Captain CK in very hot pursuit here. Less than 10 minutes left to go. The J2ICS Sprint Series, sponsored by Loop Communications. The top 3 fairly spread out and fairly ahead of the rest of the field, but the battle for 5th still has lots to deliver here. Nodovan looking for some redemption. Captain CK wants to capitalize on the good result he had in the opening sprint as well. Throwing it in there, closing the gap up behind Nodovan. Field kind of getting bunched up here just a little bit with these 3. And what has happened? Eat My Dust down pit road for the second time here tonight. He's going to throw away a podium. Here comes Spook Dubs, the number 58. Nodovan's down pit road for a second time. Are we seeing the result of drive-through penalties, I wonder? Nodovan hits his pit stall. I can't tell if Eat My Dust did, but Eat My Dust can return back onto the circuit in 7th. So that puts Spook Dubs up into 3rd. Long Island Nerd and Captain CK now find themselves battling for 4th as Nodovan taken out of the running with his second stop. Ooh, there's going to be some upsets here with the standings. Squilliam up front, he's going to be ecstatic. This is going to be a massive boon to his points lead that he already had coming into this evening. Knowing his competitors had a series of unfortunate events. Squilliam out front, Mr. Consistency in the 125s. Long Island Nerd and CK still battling for 4th, as 2nd and 3rd place drivers Nicolator and Spook Dubs have clean track around them. And we had, unfortunately, another incident reported for Nodovan. The 128 after he rolled out of pit road. Pushed a little bit wide, caught a little bit of gravel, and around she goes. Cat Daddy also down pit road for a second time. Let's see, does he hit his pit stall in the 78? It looks like it's going to be a drive-through penalty. So a lot of drivers having some issues here, as here's the battle for 4th. Captain CK pulling up alongside Long Island Nerd. Both drivers very equally matched here. Long Island Nerd tries the long way around CK, able to grab the spot. No, it's going to be CK pulling up into 4th, putting a 2/10 gap, a 3/10 gap. Now with less than 7 minutes left to go, does Captain CK have enough in the proverbial tank to whittle away at the almost 3-second advantage that Spook Dubs has up ahead? Captain CK is going to need to put together a series of perfect laps here if he wants to get back on the podium, and that's not the way to do it. Dipping the tires through the gravel. That's going to give a few tenths back in the favor of Spook Dubs. And that is just a testament to how hard CK is pushing on this one. But man, how about Nicolator sitting in 2nd, up 14 spots? Long Island Nerd has a run, opts not to do anything with it. Now, Spook Dubs is losing quite a bit of time here. Lost about 0.8 of a second just on this lap. Now only holds about a 2.1 second gap over Captain CK. So Spook Dubs also needs to have a perfect evening here if he wants to fend off that number 50 machine and finish in the podium positions. Now, Spook is a reminder with the inverted top 8 grid, not qualified, but started this feature event in the top spot. It's a lot of pressure. And to maintain the pace he has, very impressive. But Captain CK closing behind. Now only 2 seconds separating the 3rd and 4th place driver as we've got less than 5 minutes left to go. There's Captain CK and Long Island Nerd looming in the background. I think those two drivers know if they start to battle here for 4th, it is going to throw away their chance of a possible podium. 1.85 seconds separating 3rd, 4th, and 5th place here. Captain CK getting a little bit of a breakaway from Long Island Nerd. That's good that the 4th place spot is going to be uncontested for Captain CK, but now he doesn't have the 2-car draft to help catch up to Spook Dubs. 1.4 seconds separating the two. Can Spook Dubs hold on to it here and grab a podium after what was an initial lap of survival? Normally we expect with these inverted grids the opening lap to have a lot more carnage, but the drivers did a fantastic job of keeping it clean and keeping just about everybody pointing the right direction. But I think CK can see Spook Dubs just ahead. Spook surely knows he's in tow. The drivers hammering the downshifts here to help get those cars rotated. Spook Dubs and Captain CK now separated by less than a second. Captain CK has the rabbit to chase. He's going to be hammering down here, gaining some more time out of the final corner. You can see Spook wanting to break the draft. I don't think Captain CK is quite able to grab it here, as Captain CK just set his fastest lap of the race on 125.75, almost a full second faster than Spook Dubs clicked off that lap. Less than 3 minutes left to go. I think CK has a good shot here of 3rd, but we've seen him make his own misfortune. Here we go, pulling up alongside Spook. Spook's going to run very defensively here. Now, I think Captain CK is in a good spot. If he needs to, he can just wait until the white flag lap, use that draft, and try and slingshot around Spook Dubs. No particularly great reason he needs to push the issue too hard or too aggressively here. I believe this will be the penultimate lap of the race. I think Squilliam will be displayed the white flag next time by, if I'm doing my broadcast napkin math correctly up here in the booth. And it looks to me like my guess was right. I think Captain CK backed off just a little bit here to get himself lined up. Spook trying to break the draft, not able to do it. Captain CK really right in the toe here. Didn't get as big of a run as I was expecting. CK goes the outside line. Spook Dubs guards the inside, forcing our fastest Canadian to try the long way around. Side by side we go for the final podium spot. CK makes it happen the long way around here. Now the question is, can Spook Dubs stay in the draft off that number 50 machine? If so, that's going to give an opportunity to strike in the final lap. Just needs to keep in the draft of CK. Doesn't need to push hard or try and make a pass complete this lap. Really needs to stay within about 0.4 of a second. An interesting line there by Spook Dubs. And it's able to gain him, or at least salvage the time he was losing. So Spook Dubs has a very good line through that little bit of a twist backs. But Captain CK just so incredibly quick through the chicane, gaining about a tenth off Spook Dubs there. As we make our way into the final pair of corners. We think this might be the white flag lap. Spook Dubs comes out the start-finish line stretch. He's about a half second back. He's gained about a tenth and a half here, but not quite enough if he wants to make that happen on the final lap. As we get ready to unfurl the checkered flag for Squilliam, your race leader next time by. Spook Dubs has lost a whole lot of time here. He's about 8/10 now back from Nicolator. Bozak had some sort of issue as he's way off in the gravel. Looks like all the important parts of the car are still on it, though. Maybe not, as he takes an off-track excursion. As he's doing that, Captain CK and Spook Dubs make their way around. Squilliam less than a quarter of a lap left to go before he makes it back-to-back here at Zandvoort. The Loop Communications back sprint series at J2ICS. Put your hands together. Squilliam with a dominant run here tonight. Makes it a back-to-back. Looks like barring any last lap misfortune, Nicolator's looking very good here for a second. As he makes his way through the final corner. Nicolator's going to grab that second position. And let's pan back. Who's it going to be? Captain CK, back-to-back podiums despite his own best efforts. And a tip of the hat there to Spook Dubs. A very valiant battle there for fourth. So Squilliam enjoying the cool down lap here. A very well-deserved victory here tonight. As we're going to get these drivers up here to victory lane, we've got Captain CK, we've got Squilliam, and we're just waiting on Nicolator to make his way up to the booth. It looks like the gang's all here. So we're going to start things off with Captain CK. Captain, you've once again snuck onto the podium and in our hearts, and you have once again made a race a lot more challenging than it needed to be for you.
Apparently, I like to pay tribute to my old teammate Nick Beaver, who usually like to start at the back and fight to the front, so I'll take it that way.
It seems like you're emulating the old Nick Beaver just about perfectly there. Able to sneak up into the final laps, and it looked like Spook Dubs was going to keep you honest all the way there till the end.
Oh yeah, my tires at the end, I think my rears were a bit too hot after pushing all the way, but yeah, he's been driving good, Spook Dubs.
Well, Captain, super cool to have you back up here in the top three. Before I let you go and unwind from this one, who do you want to give a shout to that made it back-to-back podiums for you and the team tonight?
Honestly, now that I said it, to Nick Beaver, who I miss dearly as a teammate, and all my friends on J2I who make it so enjoyable to race. It was incredibly clean tonight to fight, passing in some places who on official lobbies I would not have the confidence to do it, but now I know people here keep it clean, so you can push and do some passing in some crazy places. It was really fun.
Well, a lot of fun for us up here in the booth. CK, again, congratulations on the back-to-back podiums and a great race all the way around.
Oh, thanks, Jameson. Have a good one.
You as well, sir.
See you.
That was Captain CK bringing it home and third. But up next, who do we have? None other than Nicolator. Join us in the second place position. Hard Charger award up 14 spots. And, dude, just super cool having you back out on track with us.
Thank you so very. It's good to be back. Had a blast out there.
Now, you kind of came out of nowhere. I know you're running a part-time schedule with just life gets in the way and stuff. Did you expect to have such a great run here tonight? I mean, 14 positions is huge.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call the first race a good run when I took out my front left, but the second race, starting from last to second, didn't expect that. Honestly, didn't expect to be racing tonight. Turned no practice laps, but here I am, so can't complain.
Well, hey, maybe we found the secret sauce for you in that number 5 machine. And starting from the back, Nick, how much more intimidating is it knowing that you're kind of in the meat grinder for any incidents that might develop out there?
Yeah, I figured there was going to be a little bit of chaos. I mean, I trust everyone on track. That's why I show up every week, well, when I can. But there were quite a few spinouts, couple incidents, that kind of thing. I did gain quite a few spots first 2 laps. But thankfully, I was able to do some racing, some side-by-side, so had some fun out there.
Well, Nick, super cool to have you back up here, especially a well-deserved second. I mean, 14 positions, absolutely huge. But before I let you unwind and handle all the admin work that Urko's not going to, who do you want to give a shout to that helped make it happen for you this evening?
Yeah, shout out to, first off, you for putting on the show. Second, everyone that showed up. Shout out to my lady. Shout out to everyone who's watching. I think I already said that. And shout out to Erko. I need to get him out here so we can get a full admin podium. He's slacking.
Classic Urko. Nicolator, always a pleasure, bud. Congrats again on a very well-fought and earned second.
Thank you. We'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir. That was Nicolator bringing it home in second, but up next, making it back-to-back in dominant fashion. Squilliam, you're able to avoid the carnage, and really there wasn't a lot of carnage that we were expecting in the feature, but able to get out front, picking your passes very carefully, and then stretching that gap to another 24-second advantage. Is Squilliam here?
I'm going to be honest. I was connecting. I didn't hear words you just said. What's up? Hello?
Can you hear me now? Hello? Squilliam? Squilliam? Squilliam?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
I'm trying. Hello?
Can you hear me, Squilliam?
Hello?
What are you wearing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
I can hear you.
Then what are we doing? Is there a delay?
Oh, great, man. What's up? I don't know, man. My Discord's being stupid right now. I don't think so.
All right. So what I was trying to ask was...
My bar is red right now.
So you're delayed. So Squilliam, since I'm delayed, tell me about your race, and we're just going to wing it.
Dude, it was awesome, man. I honestly think that was the best race that I did all season, to be completely honest. It was pretty great and a lot of fun. So
Squilliam, I'm going to talk and we're going to see how this goes again, but you're able to avoid the lap 1 carnage. Really, there wasn't as much carnage as we were expecting. What do you attribute to everybody keeping it clean? End of statement.
I think my connection's back now. It was great, man. I was really impressed with everybody keeping it clean. We were kind of checking up through the high-speed stuff, and it was kind of fun to... I couldn't really make a move, so you're just kind of sitting there and chilling out behind everybody, waiting until something happens. So I was impressed with everybody keeping it clean up until that chicane.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a little bit worse than it was, and once you're able to cut through traffic into put the hammer down and keep going. But what was the success here at Zandvoort? I mean, you were just on a different level from the other competitors. Over.
I feel like I just really clicked with the I think I just really clicked with the track itself with the high downforce, and I just feel really good in this car on the high downforce stuff, I think. So I just some of the turns and stuff like that were a bit unconventional. I think I figured them out pretty quick, like turn 3, you got to take that high banking and stuff. So I think it just kind of played to my strengths.
Well, Squilliam, good to have you back up here. You came into tonight as the points leader. You're going to extend that gap, a dominant performance. And tonight, my friend, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night. Who do you want to give a shout to that helped make it happen?
As always, shout out to all my homies watching. I've got a bunch of friends always watching me, so shout out to them. Keeping up with the the points and all that kind of stuff, and coming out and watching the show.
Well, Squilliam, always a pleasure, bud. Congratulations on the great result, and hopefully we'll have you back up here in the coming weeks to continue the dominant run.
Of course, man. Sounds good.
Thank you, sir. And that was Squilliam joining us in the top spot with the Taco Bell Wi-Fi back number 6 machine. He was accompanied by, let's make sure that's right. That's not right. There we go. Squilliam was accompanied by Hard Charger Nicolator finishing second, and Captain CK round out the top 3. On behalf of the J2ICS Weekly Sprint Series sponsored by Loop Communications, my name has been James East. Thank you all so much for spending your Wednesday night with us, and we'll see you at the next one. Have a good night. Over.